All right, everyone. For this particular week, we are now going to prepare for your last summative. So for this particular discussion, you're allowed to use calculators. Now, since at this stage, you are not yet required to use scientific calculators or any high-end calculators, ordinary calculators will do. That is why, since different calculators will have different functionalities, I will only teach you ways on how to compute which is general in nature, meaning this particular method I'll be teaching can be applicable using any kind of calculator. So if your calculator has many functions or is scientific, for example, you may explore further, you may ask help from your parents, brothers, and sisters on how you can use it at your advantage. But again, I will just teach you the basic or the general way of computing using any kinds of calculator. All right? So let's proceed. Still, we will still be discussing on percentages, but this time we will be using calculators as what I've said. So calculators now would be very much encouraged since we will be having large values. Again, in preparation for the next summative, you will be using data which is according to real life or data gathered as far as real life situation is concerned. So values would be greater. Okay, so in the past weeks, we discussed on how to do percentages. You were able to undergo the process manually. At least you already have the knowledge, the concept. So when you do solve, at least you know already what to do with the aid of calculators. Let's try to review on converting fractions and decimals to percentages. All right. So please recall that when you convert decimals to percentage, all you have to do is just to multiply the decimal to 100%. Okay? So using your calculator, you have here 4.57. So you can input 4.57297. All right? 297 and a simple multiplication, then 100, resulting to 457.297. So we say that this decimal, when converted to percentage, is equal to 457.297%. Now, always remember, for this particular lesson, or for the sake of our discussion, every time you give the final answer, if it's the final answer already, round it off to two decimal places. So meaning, we are supposed to round it off to two decimal places, but make sure that you apply the correct rounding off. That if the third decimal is 5 or greater, you have to add 1. So this makes it 457.30. But if this is lesser than 5, then you just have to retain the two decimal that you see. Okay? Now this time, what about if you try this on your own? Convert this into percentage. Pause this video and then try to do it on your own. All right? So same process times 100%, then you will get this particular answer. Remember to put percentage symbol because you're converting it to percentages. Without this, it won't be considered. So two decimal places, look at the third decimal, it's lesser than 5, so this will be taken as is, 59.63%. Okay? Let's now proceed to fractions. Now, since fractions are just the same with decimals, the way we convert fractions to percentage would just be the same. Totally the same. Alright, so times 100%. Now, how do you do this using a calculator? So our fraction is 23 over 57. So first thing you do is you write 23 first. And this fraction, if you try to remember, connotes or refers to division as an operation. So 23 over 57 is just the same as 23 divided by 57. So we divide first 23. So 23 divided by 57. So we get this answer here. And then remember that this will be multiplied. You can press equal sign, then multiplied by 100%. All right. So this gives us this particular value. All right. And remember to put percentage symbol. Two decimal places. This is lesser than 5, so we take it as is, the two decimals. Okay? Pause this video and do this on your own. All right, times 100. Make sure that you divide this first using your calculator, numerator divided by denominator, and this gives you this. Remember, since it's very long, two decimal places. Look at the third decimal, it's 5. Therefore, Therefore, this isn't correct. So this should have been 22.68%. So I'm sorry, maybe I wasn't able to edit this one. Let me just see if I can change this. Yep, I think I can. So we erase this. This is not correct, sorry. So this is actually 22, all right, 0.60, and then since this is 5, 68. Okay, and please don't forget to write the percentage symbol. Without this, it won't be accepted correct. And that's it. Okay? Wait, sorry. Okay, this time let's proceed to the next. Pause this video and I'd like you to answer the two items using your calculator. Alright, you may write the answers on a piece of paper so that you will remember it, because after you will answer the first one, when you use your calculator again, it might be erased. Your answer might be erased already. So write it on a piece of paper. Okay, same process, times 100%, numerator divided by denominator, it gives us this value. Two decimal places, this is lesser than 5, it should remain as is. Okay? The next one, times 100% still. All right, two decimal places. This is greater than 5, so this must be added by 1.58%. And that's how easy it is. Okay? This time, let's now proceed to part 2, finding the percentage of quantities. All right? So, usually, if you find percentage of quantities, the question is, what is 37% of 289? Remember that in our previous discussion, we tried to break this into common percentages, and there are many ways to do that. Now, the purpose of why I introduced that one, it's because you are doing it manually, without the use of calculators. So, breaking it into common percentage would be a lot easier if you do it manually. Or that method is mostly appropriate if you are doing this manually. But then if you're doing this using a calculator, then we can have another method, which is a lot easier than breaking it into common percentages. And what is that? It's actually converting this percentage into a fraction. Remember the meaning of percent in class? Percent means per 100. Very good. So that will be 37 over 100. Okay? So 37% is 37 over 100. So what you can do here is you can find the value using a calculator if you wish to. All right, that's 0.37. And then afterwards, this value will be multiplied with the number itself. So it's like we're looking into what is 0.37, which is the equivalent decimal of this fraction. What is 0.37 of 289? Okay, so when we multiply using the calculator here, so I bet you already know how to do this one in the calculator. And then for this one, so 0.37, you start with point, or you can start with 0. It's all up to you. 0 point. Make sure that you put the decimal, 37 times 289. Okay? And this gives you a value of 106.93. Okay? And this is 37% of 289. And that's how easy it is to get the answer using your calculator. Now, another method, if you wish to, is from 37 over 100, you don't have to write it as a decimal. So you can directly multiply this to the number. So like you can just say 37 over 100 times 289. All right? Because again, it's the same as saying what is 37 over 100 of 289. So this 2 means the same thing. Now, even if you just simply write it using your calculator, anyways, you still have to divide 37 by 100 first. That means you will still get 0.37 and later on multiply it by 289. So what I'm saying is we can shorten the process by just writing this one, converting the percentage into a fraction. Then multiply it directly to the number. All right? And using your calculator, you can get this value. That is if you want to shorten the process. Okay, let's have another example. 72% of this number, remember again, convert the percentage into a fraction. Percent means per 100. 72 over 100. Then you have equal to 0.72 if you wish to convert it into a decimal. So 0.72 times 20, 687. Can you do this in your calculator? Pause this video and try to input this in your calculator. All right, and this gives you the answer, 14,894.64. Okay, so this is already in two decimal places. Again, if you want to shorten the process, you can just write 72 over 100 times the number, the whole. Okay? All right, your turn. Pause this video and try to answer this one on your own. Write your answer on a piece of paper so that you would remember it. All right. So this time, it's 1.68%, so you need to be careful. So convert this into a percentage. That means it's 1.68. Okay, not 168, because this is the percentage. 1.68% means per 100. Okay, so convert this into a decimal using your calculator, then multiply. All right, and surely you should have arrived at this particular answer. Two decimal places. By the way, we can just shorten the process by writing this one. They're just the same. Again, to finalize the answer, two decimal places. The third decimal is 5, so we add 1 to the second decimal. So this gives us 56,903.15. And that's how to find percentage of quantities using your calculator. Okay? Your turn. Pause this video and please try this on your own. All right. Convert to a fraction. Okay, so either of the two is correct. It depends on your preference. Either ways, it will still give you the same answer. Okay, next. Once again, pause this video and try to do it on your own. Okay, convert into a fraction, then multiply. Or you may convert it into a decimal, then you multiply. Either ways, it gives you the same answer. Two decimal places, you must get, or this must be how, this should be how you report it. Okay, this is greater than 5, therefore we add 1 to the second decimal place. And that is how to find percentage of quantities.